Hello, everyone. This is Independent Conservative. I'm Ryan Bowling. Thank you all for joining me once again. It never ceases to amaze me how that Hollywood continuously puts out movies that I would have to wonder who in their right mind would want to see a movie like this. And what I'm referring to is a movie with the title, it's entitled The Magical Society of Negroes or something along that line. Supposed to be coming out in March, I think in March 2024. And it's about a group of a secret society made up of black people who essentially they're like angels, and they're assigned to white people to make white people better. Okay. Well, this article I'm about to read from Breitbart News shows the actual trailer for this movie. And in the trailer, a black person says played by David Allen Greer, says something along the line that white people are fearful of black people. It's just real crazy. It's real cringeworthy to me. It's ridiculous. I don't want to see the movie. I wouldn't understand why anyone would want to go to watch this kind of nonsense. But before I go into the detail of my commentary, I'm going to read you this relatively short article, and I'm going to give you the detail of my commentary because right off the bat, I don't want to judge the movie and make a judgment call on the movie, and it might not be that way. I haven't seen the movie. I don't want to see it, but I don't want to make a judgment call right off the back. And I'm going to give you the details of what I mean by that as we get into this article. But it just never ceases to amaze me. Why would you make a trailer with something that's blatantly belittling as that? I mean, that's the world we live in. The article says Universal's Focus Features has released the first trailer for the upcoming comedy, The American Society of Magical Negroes. That's the name of it, which imagines a world where black people are recruited to serve as self-sacrificing guardian angels for whites. You can't make this stuff up, man. What's the most dangerous animal on the planet? One character asks. Now, right off the back there, when you ask that question, and I actually literally watched the trailer. It's in the article. I watched the entire trailer. They said this, okay? What's the most dangerous animal on the planet? One character asks. White people, when they're feeling uncomfortable, he later adds, the happier they are, the safer we are. Now, if you find that funny, to each his own. But to me, that's not funny. Okay, but let's go on. And I know with somebody, the pro-black person, you're a black person. I'm going to give you the detail of all that because I know I'm going to get some haters on there. I don't care about that. People have been hating me ever since. Who cares? You may hate me, but God loves me. Anyway, the movie, which opens in cinemas March 22nd, stars Justice Smith as young Los Angeles hipster who gets recruited into a secret society of magical black people whose jobs are to make life easier for white people. He gets assigned to a young white man, but trouble arises when they fall for the same hipster chick. David Allen Greer co-stars as a leading member of said society. The Magical Negro is a literary and cinematic term referring to a black character whose primary function is to help and sometimes transform the white protagonist into a better person. Prominent cinematic examples include The Green Mile, The Legend of Bagger Vance, and Driving Miss Daisy. I seen The Green Mile, but I didn't see the other two. Green Mile was an excellent film, but if you look at the movie, this whole concept of magical Negro, I did hear the term magical Negro before. That's what it seems to allude to. That is these black people that help transform the white protagonist into a better person, and this could stem from the early history of Hollywood movies in the early 1900s that portrayed black people as buffoons and ignorant and, just really like subordinate to the white person. And a lot of the movies did present black people that way. So one could argue from this period of time in Hollywood movies that I guess Hollywood producers and writers and so forth was trying to make up for that by presenting black characters as the saviors of white people, so to speak, in terms of their character. So the concept of the magical Negro was created for that, okay? But you got to think about the term magical Negro. Why do you have to be magical? Right? Just be a person of great character. There's no magic. The occult ain't involved in this. You just be a person of great character. You be a person of great character, whether you black, white, Hispanic, doesn't matter. Maybe perhaps your great character can influence other people to be great. But anyway, let's go on. Mark Twain's The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn has been accused of using, quote, magical Negro stereotypes for the character Jim. And that's the end of that article. Pretty straightforward article, pretty brief in its presentation. But yeah, I want to first start off by saying I don't want to judge the movie in its content by merely watching a trailer. I don't want to judge it, say the movie is going to suck or whatever. I don't want to say that because the trailer could be just a way of pulling you in to see the movie. Although I have to question why anyone after watching the trailer would want to see the movie. I mean, it's your choice. You see what you want to see. Okay. But after seeing that, particularly if you're a white person, why would you want to see that movie? I wouldn't know why. Because it's seriously, to me, the trailer is, and the things that the character is saying is belittling white people. Okay. But no, I wouldn't want to go see this movie. I mean, to me, this is purely belittling other racial groups to make your group look better. Now, my philosophy is this. I've said this before. I'll say it again. If you want to shine on an individual basis or on a corporate basis or whatever, if you want to shine, okay, just shine. You don't have to diminish someone else's light to make yourself look good. When I see trailers like this, or when I, hear people talk like this, whether they be black or white, but a lot of these people are black that talk like this when it comes to white people. When I hear this kind of stuff, I can't help but wonder, why are you belittling white people in order to make yourself look good? Why don't you just be what you are? If you are educated, be educated. You don't have to put down the accomplishments of another race of people or another ethnic group to make yourself look good. Because to me, what that spells is an inferiority complex that you have. Okay? Not that I have, not that other black people have, but black people that kind of spend this kind of stuff, to me, you are spending the inferiority complex that you claim white people have put on you. And if in fact they put that inferiority complex on you somehow, some way, you're having a hard time overcoming it. So you figure, well, let's create a movie. Now, I don't know who wrote the screenplay for this movie. I don't know who produced it. I don't know who directed it. Could have been a white person, could have been a black person, could have been a combination of all. I have no clue. But they all appear to be thinking alike in that same realm. And anytime you have to put down another race of people to make yourself look good, that shows that you are inferior in my book. You're exactly what the so-called white supremacists say you are. Just be. You want to know one of the reasons why I say that too? In the early history, let's look a little bit with history here. In the early history of America, right? And when I say the early history, I mean post-Civil War, the early 1900s. A lot of people don't want to go back into that, but it's good to know history. In fact, it's important to know history. Okay? I've said this before. I'll say it again. A significant number of blacks back in those days, okay, in order to overcome poverty, in order to overcome the inferiority complex that was pushed upon them by the racist society at the time, they outdid everyone else, or they strove to outdo everyone else, particularly white people. They knew that the only way they could get accepted, whether it was in football, whether it was in basketball, whether it was in baseball, okay, they knew that they had to put forth more effort in order to be accepted. Now, people could argue, well, you trying to be accepted. I'm not going to argue about it. Just pay attention to the point. They knew in order to be accepted in any of those arenas, if you will, they had to outdo their white peers. And oftentimes they did. Okay? Because that was their way of overcoming the inferiority complex. They didn't go around putting white people down. They didn't go around doing that. They said, you know what? I know who I am. You can tell me, you can call me a boy. You can call me a gal. You can say all this. You can use the N-word on me. But at the end of the day, I know who I am. Okay? This is the way these black people think about it. I know who I am. And I'm going to be the best person I can be. I'm going to be the best black man. I'm going to be the best black woman that I can be. I'm going to study. I'm going to apply myself. And this happened. I think it was Hank Aaron outdid Babe Ruth, from what I understand. Correct me in the commentary box. But why did he outdo Babe Ruth? Okay, why did he outdo him in home runs? It wasn't because he was intrinsically gifted. It wasn't because he was black and it was in his DNA. It was because he practiced harder than anyone else. He knew that if he was going to be in that kind of group, he had to outdo everyone else. That was the mindset of black people back then. Their mindset wasn't, excuse me, their mindset wasn't putting down other white people or putting down any ethnic group for that matter. That's one of the reasons why blacks, even during segregation, had their own businesses, their own banks, film industry, they were filmmakers, writers, artists, you name it. They had just about everything that the whites had, even when it was segregated. Why? Because they put forth the effort to do so. They felt no need to put down any white person, to belittle them, and to make them look good. They didn't have to. They was just good because they put forth the effort to be good. And my point is clear. Why put down another race of people to make yourself look good? You know what I think? A lot of black people today have simply gotten lazy. Now, I said a lot of black people. I didn't say all black people, so don't get on here. You talking about you hating on black people. No, I'm not. How am I hating on black people by elevating the black people of the past? I'm telling you what they've done. Black people ain't doing nothing today but complaining and boo-hooing about what the white man is doing. That's all I hear. I'm not going to praise that retardation. I'm not going to elevate that. I elevate real blackness, real intellectual processes that blacks had. We need to bring that back. If you want to be so blackity black, blackity black, black, then let's go back to the past. Let's go back to cracking open them books. Let's go back to being the math magicians that we claimed we were at one point. I hear it all the time. We were great. We were this. We were that. We built the pyramids and all that. Okay. I could argue that. I could give you some more information on that, but I'm not going to do it. I don't have the time for that right now. We could argue that. Okay, that's the case. That being the case, why aren't we doing it today? All I'm seeing is dumb movie trailers like this. Now, I'm not mad at David Allen Greer and these guys. They're actors. They got to make the money, okay? I'm not even mad at them for that. They're elevating money over principle, but that's okay. That's their life. It's not adding to me, not taking it. It's cool. But the average Joe Smo, the average person, man, it's goofy to me to come to me and tell me, and I hear this quite often from brothers, man, you know, we built the pyramids. We built the pyramids, man. We had great mathematical abilities and this, that, and the other. Okay. And they brag to me about how we built the pyramids and all this kind of stuff. Man, I know all about that stuff. I'm versed on all of that. And I'm thinking to myself, okay, yeah, that's true. But what are we doing today? If our ancestors in pre-colonial Africa and pre-colonial Egypt was so great, okay, which history tells us they did great things, built great civilizations, then why aren't we trying to acquire that today? Why do we have to put down white people? By saying, yeah, they safer with it. Man, come on. We don't need to do that. Just put in practice what you claim our ancestors were. If we all that in a bag of chips, we need to do it again. We need to do it again. Like blacks did in the early 1900s, post the Civil War. The first half a century of the Civil War, after the Civil War, rather. How eloquent they were. Okay? And yet they still maintained their distinctive blackness. You knew they were black, not just because of how they looked, but because of their mannerisms, you knew they were black. But yet they were educated, intellectual. They could argue and debate with the most educated individuals, white, black, didn't matter. I'm just saying, putting down other ethnic groups to elevate yourself is foolish to me. How you elevate yourself, in my opinion, you elevate yourself. You educate yourself like the ancient Egyptians were, okay? You elevate and educate yourself like post-Civil War blacks did in the first half a century, and then shine the best you can. And when you do that, you won't need to put down some other ethnic group or some other race of people. You would just be a star just by being a star, because you made yourself that. You invested in yourself. Now, I'm going to get hated for that no matter what. I don't care. It's the truth, and people know it. So that's what I think about that. What do you guys think about this article? Leave your comments in the comment section below. Like, share, and subscribe to my channel. God bless you all. See you again.